Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, October 25th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I'll do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol TSLA, Tesla, had earnings yesterday. And needless to say, the market really found those earnings bullish because huge gap up and just a slow, steady grind all day long. So we'll get some new levels here mapped out. And really, as of right now, from a resistance standpoint, I think it's, you don't want to overcomplicate it. But as of right now, that trend line right there has done a very impressive job of forecasting where the battlegrounds have been throughout the course of the day. You can see that every time the price is pushed up, it has found some, pushback right at that area of resistance. So, or that I should say that area, that line right there, the resistance trend line. So keep an eye on that moving forward. On the flip side of things, though, we also have this area of support that looks like that. So let me change that to green to represent support. And what I've now drawn here is a rising wedge pattern, which is actually bearish. Now, let me be very clear. Just because something's bearish does not mean the price is going to go down. Same with something if there's a bullish pattern. That doesn't mean the price is going to go up. But it is a bearish pattern, which suggests, though it shouldn't really shock anybody because today was such a big move up, but it does suggest that Tesla's going to need to take a little break and get it some sort of pullback. Now, remember, pullback is not the same as reversal. So by no means am I saying pullback means that. Not at all. I mean, think about it. The price could pull back, go all the way down there, and what would you still have from the bigger picture point of view? Well, you'd have a low there, you'd have lows down here, and if you envision each of those as stair steps, you'd still have overall stair steps progressing in the upward direction. So pullback does not mean crash, but looking at today's action, I would call Tesla the rising wedge pattern and expect a pullback sooner than later. Next, NXU, and had a pretty big pullback today. Started off up here. I think some poor souls bought right there. Hopefully they were using stop losses. And then from there, the price had quite the bit of a pullback. And let me map out that level here because this is going to be one that I think a lot of people, I wanted to use that as the key point. There we go. I think that's going to be an area that a lot of people will be watching. Something very similar, in my opinion, to use that level or that high right there makes it too steep of a trend line. Maybe you disagree, and that's fine. But even if you do disagree, point here is there's going to be several different variations of trend lines right around that area. And when a lot of people are watching the same general area and wondering the same thing in terms of a breakout, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So no guarantees, but is it valid? Is it plausible if the price were to come up here and break up through this general area right here, that break right there could produce additional buying pressure? Absolutely. That is a more than valid suggestion. In terms of areas of support, no need to overcomplicate it. Actually, let me change that to green for support. You can see right here the bears tried several times to push down through that 51-cent mark, and to give credit where credit's due, so far so good. The bulls have been very stubborn in that area right there, so continue to watch that as a key area of support. Next one, QS, and in this situation, very well-defined pattern. So as I've talked about already, when you have well-defined things and you have a lot of people watching, wondering the same types of things, self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So we have our area of resistance there. We have our area of support there. And I'm going to go through this quicker because you've already heard me kind of give the whole idea of how self-fulfilling prophecies can work. But we have our resistance, support, big explosive move right there. For you golfers out there, try to make it a little bit more visual for you. Put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. And as mentioned earlier, just because Tesla has that bearish pattern doesn't mean the price is going to go down. Just because QS here has a bullish pattern doesn't mean the price is going to go up. But would it be shocking? Would it catch people off guard if the price were to come up to there, break through that level, and then get a whole lot of momentum with that break? I don't think anybody would be shocked by that. So if you like this price range, you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, ticker symbol ZENA, and overall good solid movement to start and then a bigger move to the downside. So there's no doubt about it. That was very solid. But once again, hopefully people that were buying right there had some stop losses in play as the price has now continued to pull back. But am I going to say the entire chart's destroyed? I am not. I will still give it the benefit of the doubt. But that is why that purple line there, the 50 period moving average valued at $2 is very, very important. And the reason why I would call that a do or die is if the price were to come down and then break through that level, what would that be doing to the price? That would quite literally be putting the price right back inside of this range where it just was. And that's not exactly a sign of genuine power when something explodes upwards and then goes right back to where it was. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to occur, but that is one situation that would make this chart essentially look like a pump and dump. Now, the flip side, if the price continues to go like it is and then curl back upwards, what would you have from the bigger picture point of view? Well, you'd have a set of lows here. You'd have that low down there. And if you envision those as stair steps, you'd have those stair steps in the upwards direction. Now, I realize if you're a day trader that bought right there, you really don't care about any of this. So I'm making these comments more so from an overall chart perspective. So yeah, nasty pullback today, but the price does still have the opportunity to show some signs of progress. And again, what is a quote unquote sign of progress? Staying above $2. Next one here, NVDA. And I think this is a pretty well-defined situation right now. Because if I were to take these levels there, draw that trend line, and maybe you'd say, I don't even know if a trend line is needed, which I totally understand, because I could see you saying, well, let's just use that purple line there, 50 period moving average. Like I said, I'm totally on board with that, because the fact of the matter is you look at these levels, and they're both very, very similar to one another. So I'll let you kind of draw or visualize that however you want. But the fact of the matter is that over the past couple of days, the price has been very nicely sloping upwards. So I'm going to throw that, just get rid of that line down there as it served its purpose for now. And what we have here is an ascending triangle pattern, which is bullish. So yeah, there's basically a flat top up there, but regarding what's been occurring ever since there, you can see the price continues to get higher and higher. These higher lows are key. And now it's just a question on Friday of can the price finally push up there and get the breakout through the top part of that pattern. And given NVIDIA is a very, very popular stock, a lot of people watching, once again, that much more credibility to the whole idea of those just simply self-fulfilling prophecies where people buy just because, oh, it's breaking out of that pattern. Oh, I'm a breakout trader. I'm supposed to buy because it's breaking out. And then they buy, and then that just in and of itself creates momentum. So nice ascending triangle here on NVIDIA. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the webpage you can use to sign up. Now, a special note, it is a genuine live event. So a couple things, maybe you already have something on your schedule this evening, or maybe you just flat out missed it. You're watching this Friday morning, for example. That's okay. It will be recorded. So go ahead, send me an email to clay@claydraw.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next one here, ticker symbol NIO, and some very interesting dynamics here of bounce potential. And the level that I think a lot of people are going to be curious about, because that's a pretty basic trend line to draw, is that support level right there for people that like to play bounces. Again, no guarantees, but not crazy at all for people to think that the price could come down there and then do something like that. So keep an eye on that if you like to play bounces. And then in terms of areas of resistance, main level to watch, going to be right there at that level. And this is what I would call a falling wedge pattern, which is actually the bullish pattern. So remember, Tesla had the rising wedge, which is bearish. This is a falling wedge, which is bullish. So just if you're a pattern trader and you like falling wedge patterns, you like this price range, well, here you go. Next one, SOFI. Nice looking chart here and good overall pattern. So let's just cut to the chase here. We have our area of resistance. We have our area of support, and then just to make it easiest to see, resistance, support, big explosive move right there, golf hole down there. We have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So you've already heard me talk about it. So to respect your time, I'm just going to keep us moving here, but here you go. Here's another bull pennant pattern. Next one, WULF, and once more, we have some very well-defined areas here. So there is our resistance. There is our support. Maybe we're saying this is starting to look somewhat familiar, and it is. Now, the biggest difference here is that the other bull pennants were basically formed in a single day. This is a multi-day bull pennant. Maybe some would even want to call it a bull flag, but I'll let you call it whatever you think makes the most sense for you. But nonetheless, the same general idea, the same psychology is the same, and that is there's a big surge upwards. Now there's a bit of a pullback, and now it just becomes a question of, is this pullback going to be healthy? Is this pullback ultimately going to lead to another surge of momentum that pushes the price in the upwards direction. So maybe you're someone that's like, nah, I don't really like one-day patterns, but I do like multiple day patterns. So definitely keep an eye on WULF. Next one, MARA, and started off the day very, very strong. Had the opening 30 minutes after the gap up, nice and green, and then very nasty rollover. But to give credit where credit's due, as I speak right now, the price is returning back upwards. And that also what leads us to the key battleground here, and that will be that purple line there. 50-period moving average at $18.30. So that'll be the first question mark for the bulls is, can the price have enough strength on Friday to push above that level and stay above it? So keep an eye on that from the near-term resistance standpoint. And then in terms of levels of support, two main levels. So the first level is what I would call the ideal level. I mean, if the price can stay above this area, that would be a very, very impressive sign of strength. And that sits right there at $17 and we'll call it 70 cents. But if the price does fall below there, not the end of the world, because from the bigger picture standpoint, down here you do have that overarching level, that pink line, which on my chart represents the very famous 200-period moving average. So again, preferably if the price could stay above there, that would be fantastic, but not the end of the world as long as the price stays above the 200-period moving average. But yeah, can the price break up through that level? We'll see what happens on Friday. Next one, TQQQ, an overall good solid day. Mainly all the gains came after the gap up, but nonetheless, a gap up is still contributing to a gain. But after the gap up, you can see it was a pretty choppy day back and forth. Had a couple faulty breakdowns right there, then recovered, went choppy again. And even as I speak right now, doing battle with that purple line, and that is going to be the main question mark. I think most people are going to be wondering, can the price break above that purple line, which is the famous 50-period moving average? And that is a more than valid question. Right now, you can see it's struggling. And there's, definitely a couple schools of thought. Both are right, and example of why risk management matters. There's going to be some people saying, "No, I think it's about to fail. I think it's going to get rejected, and down it goes." Totally fair, totally accurate. Other people are saying, "Well, I think this thing's about to break out and get moving." Totally fair, totally accurate. Again, that's why risk management matters, because somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong. But from the perspective where I sit of just kind of mapping out key levels, both those perspectives have something in common. Both are going to be watching and wondering all about the purple line there, the 50-period moving average. If the price does come down at all, then the level that I'm very curious about, because it held up very strong twice today, right there around $72.25. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders out there, again, if you like what you saw here, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. It'll be this evening, Thursday, October 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. But if you can't make it live for whatever reason, go ahead, send me an email, clay@claydraw.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. And it is a genuine live event, and I say that because there is a Q&A session, so if you have questions, please bring them. I'd be happy to answer them for you. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I'm now on the 4-hour time frame, so each one of these candlesticks here represents 4 hours and not 30 minutes. And that is because Bitcoin is open 24/7. And in order for this analysis to remain relevant for as long as possible, I like to use a longer time frame and then walk you through some questions. And then based on how you answer those questions, that'll dictate the current status of things. So let's just assume you're watching this video 20 hours after I upload it. Question number one that I have is, where's the price at relative to that area right there? 66,600. As long as you're answering the question that the price is above there, everything is perfectly fine. Let's just take a worst case scenario. Let's say you're watching this and the price is like right there. What would you still have from the overarching standpoint? You'd still have a low right there. You'd have that low right there. And if you envision each of those as stair steps, as I've said before, well, you still have progress being made in the upwards direction. And that's what it's all about. You just want to see progress being made forward. So any answer that the price is above 66,600, that is a good thing. Now, if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is down below that level, next immediate question, okay, well, where's the price at relative to that pink line down there, 200-period moving average, valued at 64,400? If somehow you're answering the question that the price is down below there, something has gone wrong. The bears have shown up in a very, very big way. Now, I doubt you're answering the question in that way, but nonetheless, that would be, definitely one of those levels that would make things look very, very sketchy. And then on the flip side of things, common sense will take you far. Main area of resistance moving forward now is right up here at 64,000, or if I could speak right, 69,400. And if you're saying the price is up above there, well, that's just telling you that not only is Bitcoin still strong, it's gotten that much stronger and that much more attractive. So keep your eye on those levels, walk yourself through those questions, and that'll keep this analysis relevant for as long as possible. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to definitely get signed up for this free live class, because what you're learning about can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So as mentioned, it'll be this evening, Thursday, October 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But if you can make it live, for whatever reason, go ahead, send me an email, clay@claytrade.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. So as always, if you enjoy these top 10 videos, please do a couple things. Hit that like button, a very simple way to support the channel. Also, hit the red subscribe button. Little things like that really do help out the channel. So if you're looking to support that requires no money at all, then like I said, hitting that subscribe button goes a long way. So thanks for watching. Go get signed up for that free class.